Welcome to our English news broadcast to you on Canal Algérie. To the headlines. The President of the Republic takes important measures related to prevention forgery and fraud and rural housing during the Council of Ministers meeting. The President of the Republic honors USM Algiers team after winning the African Confederation Cup, a major continental trophy in the club's history. The baccalaureate exams kick throughout the country in good conditions to the great joy of candidates. And El Jaish magazine puts forward in its last issue the importance of security seen as part and parcel of a global approach. Welcome back. Important measures relating to natural catastrophes, forgery and fraud, and other measures meant to consolidate the judicial arsenal crowned the Council of Ministers meeting held on Sunday under the aegis of the President of the Republic. Melissa Kibash with the details.
After the opening of the meeting, the President of the Republic listened to the Prime Minister's presentation related to the government's activities over the past 2 weeks, alongside other presentations. The President gave the following guidelines regarding a draft bill related to the prevention and intervention measures to reduce catastrophe risks within the framework of sustainable development. The President stressed the importance of proactive operations and constant vigilance in accordance to specific plans to face up all disasters. Updating the lists of material and human capabilities destined for intervention in disasters, while obligating the governors to carry out operations every 6 months to avoid any obstruction related to intervention operations. Regarding the draft bill related to civil and administrative procedures, the President instructed the enrichment of the draft bill by opening discussions with professionals and experts, including judges with professional experience, in order to introduce the necessary amendments to the Code of Civil and Administrative Procedures, emphasizing that the Supreme Court is the highest judicial body in the country and its rulings are final and irrevocable. The President also stressed the need to specify the types of nature of the appeal submitted to the Supreme Court to reduce the burden on citizens and facilitate procedures. As for the law meant to combat forgery, the President emphasized that combating forgery falls within the framework of his commitment to moralize public life by consolidating the legal arsenal that fights this phenomenon, negatively affecting the Algerian administrative. The President highlighted that the fight against forgery and fraud comes in a context that aims at providing protection for the state and citizens' interests. The President ordered the merging of all punishable forgery crimes into this draft bill, stressing that the facilitations achieved via digitization and modernization should not be at the expense of the state's security, while prioritizing the protection of personal data. Regarding the complementary program of Jilfa province, the President stressed the importance of agriculture that characterizes this historic province. He instructed the government to raise the share of rural housing allocated to the province from 4,000 to 15,000 units, prepare a proposal to upgrade the municipalities of Labiat Sidi Sheikh, Ain Wassara and Masad and make them provinces. As for the presentation related to the preparations to welcome Algerians during the 2023 summer season, recruit human staff at the airports and ports, create appropriate conditions to receive the Algerian community in their homeland. The President instructed the government to grant more facilitations to receive members of our diaspora, especially when it comes to ticket prices. Organize a special trip by Paris's Great Mosque in coordination with the Ministry of Youth and Sports for the benefit of 900 children and young people to visit different tourist areas in their country, Algeria, so as to strengthen their relationship with their homeland. Concerning a joint ministerial presentation on the progress of the railways Gharj Orient Bissa Annaba, in view of the Gharj strategic importance, the President stressed the importance to ensure accuracy in accordance to scientific and technological standards in embodying this type of projects which are beneficial for the country. At the end, the Council approved decrees related to the appointment and termination of duties of high state officials.
Still with the activities of the President of the Republic, who presided over a ceremony at the People's Palace here in Algiers to honor USM Algiers after winning the African Confederation Cup. The full story with our reporter Najah Tayyar.
The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, presided over at the People's Palace here in Algiers, a ceremony in honor of the USM Algiers who won the African Football Confederation Cup. In addition to the managing and technical staff and all the members of the team, the ceremony was held in the presence of the President of the Council of the Nation, Saleh Koudjil, the President of the National People's Assembly, Brahim Boughali, the Prime Minister, Ayman bin Abdurrahman, the President of the Constitutional Court, Omar Belhaj, and the Army General Saeed Shingriha, Chief of Staff of the People's National Army, in addition to the members of the government and senior state officials. The President of the Republic greeted the President of the Algerian Football Association, the coach of the USM Algiers, and the managing staff of the team after greeting the father of the late player Bilal bin Hamouda.
يتقدم لتحية السيد رئيس الجمهورية السيد بن حمودة علي، وهو والد اللاعب المرحوم بلال بن حمودة الذي أحيينا البارحة الذكرى السنوية الأولى لوفاته بعدما كان لاعبا في فريق اتحاد الجزائر. يتقدم السيد رئيس الاتحاد الجزائري لكرة القدم السيد جهيد سفيزف. يتقدم السيد عبد الحق بن شيخة المدرب الرئيسي للاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر. يتقدم السيد حركاتي محمد كريم الرئيس المدير العام لمجمع سيربار. يتقدم السيد أعراب أحمد رئيس مجلس إدارة الاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر. يتقدم قائد فريق الاتحادي الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر السيد بلعيد زين الدين. يتقدم المدرب المساعد للاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر السيد فريد زميت. يتقدم المدير العام للاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر السيد عبدوش رضا. يتقدم مدرب الحراس السيد فريد بالملاط. يتقدم المدرب المساعد السيد حاج عدلان. يتقدم المحضر البدني لفريق الاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر بلعيد مجاهد.
The President honored the USM Algiers players and congratulated them for their prestigious trophy.
لاعب الاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر زماموش محمد الأمين. ويليه اللاعب أيمن محيوس. كما يتقدم اللاعب أكرم جحنيط لاعب الاتحاد الرياضي لمدينة الجزائر.
The head of state also greeted the USM Algiers medical staff for their efforts to ensure the medical care of players. The President also praised the efforts by the technical staff who accompany the team. For their part, the managing and technical staff and the players of the USM Algiers honored the head of state for his interest and support to the sport in general and to football in particular through the reception and the tribute paid to this team. At the end of the ceremony, the President of the Republic brandished the cup won by the USM Algiers and took a souvenir photo by the players and the technical staff and the team manager. For their part, the USM Algiers players and managing staff held this initiative and expressed their gratitude to the President of the Republic for his lofty initiative and likely to pave the way for the major sporting breakthroughs.
Taking the floor, the Sports Minister Abdulrahman Hamid hailed this initiative, which constitutes a tradition initiated by the President of the Republic as a recognition to Algeria's youth. Let's have a listen to him.
The President's support and interest in youth are quite visible via a national sports system meant to develop the sector and football in particular, with new stadiums with state-of-the-art equipment, which highly impressed those attending the local and under-17 African football tournaments. He attached great importance to athletes' protection after ending their career via a series of laws adopted for this purpose. These measures denote the President's interest in sports and athletes, regardless of their disciplines, to help them progress and represent Algeria perfectly at the world level, stemming from a staunch conviction that youth is real wealth on which the country can rely now and in the future.
The first day of the baccalaureate exams, the official kickoff of which took place in Wirgla province with the presence of the National Education Minister Abdelhakim Belabed, were held in perfect conditions throughout the country. The candidates, either school regular attending pupils or independent candidates, were highly motivated to their best and passed this exam, the key for higher studies and a promising future. Worth noting that all the human and material means have been put in place to ensure the success of this major educational event. Excellent conditions marked the first day of the baccalaureate exams at the Algerian International School of Paris, thanks to the tremendous efforts put in place to ensure the success of the decisive exam. The Algerian ambassador to France presided over the kickoff operation and hailed the school managing staff for their relentless efforts. Security is indivisible was the major topic of the Al-Jaish magazine, which highlighted in its editorial the necessity to ensure a global security far from any form of conventional security. More insights with Melissa Kibesh once again.
In its monthly editorial, the Jaish magazine stressed the need to guarantee a global security far from any form of conventional security, a necessity relied on by the country's authorities. Based on this vision, the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense, highlighted in his speech during the opening of the proceedings of the national seminar related to cybersecurity on the necessity to ensure the total security of our vital institutions. On this effect, the President affirmed that managing national security in all its political, military, economic, social, and even technological dimensions involve the development of national strategy integrated in the digitization field, prevent against cyber threats, the protection of system and data, the promotion of digital culture, civil and patriotic, based on permanent awareness, indicated the President. Army General Said Shingriha, for his part, backed this vision, as mentioned in this edition. Facing all dangers and threats encountered by sensitive system of the state is a necessity. The Army General affirmed that with an aim to face these threats, it's imperative to be vigilant for all parties concerned, military and civil, to combine efforts and ensure the sharing of technical resources while relying on Algerian competences settled here or abroad to master cyberspace at different levels, particularly in terms of infrastructures, software, and national content. The High Command of the People's National Army ensures the operational readiness of its units. The Army General also underlined the rigor and efficiency, having characterized the actions of the People's National Army over the last years under the aegis of the President of the Republic, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, Minister of National Defense. Indeed, our army proved in the field through remarkable results the unshakable will of its personnel, devoted to their motherland with an aim to preserve the legacy of our brave Shuhada by maintaining security, stability, and the country's independence, alongside the protection of its territorial integrity and popular unity.
An agreement was signed on Sunday between the Algerian oil and gas company Sonatrach and the British Petrofac company for the construction of polypropylene complex in Erziw with an annual production capacity of 550,000 tons. It is the largest project of its kind in the group. The ceremony was chaired by the Minister of Energy and Mines, Mohamed Arqab, in the presence of the Sonatrach CEO, Tawfiq Hakkar, and Petrofa Corporation's Director, Roberto Bertocco. Ahead of the summer season, important facilitations have been put in place to the benefit of our community abroad, notably at the level of ports, in addition to extra maritime lines towards several European cities. Najah Diyar has the details.
This summer, new maritime lines are added to the program linking the Algerian port to those of Europe, as well as new ships to new destinations in response to the request of the Algerian community abroad. New lines will be soon opened. We are advancing by Algiers-Barcelona, Oran-Barcelona, Oran-Set and other lines. We have also charter ships and ships for the tourism season. And to ensure the best welcome to the holiday makers, administrative facilitations have been introduced by the General Customs Dept. Everything is going very well at all levels. The facilitations set are very significant. We signed in the ship to avoid the long waiting and traffic. The procedures were quick. We gave them all the documents required inside the ship. No problem occurred. This corridor is for families. The General Directorate has facilitated the arrival procedures related to the documents and luggage check-in of our immigrants. This corridor and many others are all separated for different categories in order to facilitate and encourage the local tourism and a larger number of Algerian holiday makers in this summer season.
Sports now, and the press conference held by the national football manager Jamal Belmadi ahead of the upcoming game versus Uganda as part of the African Cup of Nations qualifiers on June 18th in Cameroon, and the friendly match with Tunisia 2 days later in Annaba Stadium. The national manager provided sports reporters with in-depth details related to the Desert Warriors. That was it for today. Thank you for joining us. Good night.